We're going to welcome back in State Senator Tom Davis, joining us as he often does, getting ready to go through another week in Columbia with all kinds of stuff going on. Let's begin, though, much more locally. The Highway 278 corridor project, which is older than either one of us would like to think, Senator, is coming to the time when something might actually happen, and you were the one who got the note from the state saying do something, and you have done something. Tell us where we're at and what we need to be doing and thinking about over the next couple of weeks.
Right. I think we are close to a very definitive, decision point here. It's been a long time coming. And here's kind of where we are and where I think we're going. We're going to have to do the best we can with the $300 million that we have in hand. Okay. The total bridge project is going to cost roughly $490 million, probably close to $500 million before we finally go to bid. So we need to focus on what can we do with the $300 million we have on hand. And I think the most logical way to proceed, given that, is to build a new 3-lane span running eastbound from Moss Creek, running across Pinckney Island all the way to Windmill Harbor, parallel to the existing eastbound span. And construction of that new 3-lane eastbound span would take place while the old eastbound span was still in existence. So right. You wouldn't have any interruption to ingress and egress from the island during the construction period. That will cost approximately, that new 3-lane eastbound span that I just referred to, about $250 million. Yeah. And so that leaves about $50 million for the town and for Beaufort County to figure out what sort of highway improvements they want to occur from Windmill Harbor, which is where that 3-lane eastbound span would end, right, and Cross Island Parkway, and developing a master plan in regard to that mitigates impacts of the Stoney community, creates an environment where you can have a free flow of traffic coming off the bridge onto the Cross Island Parkway that didn't necessarily have to be tied up by lights. Right. But I really want the town and the county to focus its attention over the next several weeks on what do they want that on-island plan to look like from Windmill Harbor to the Cross Island Parkway. And in terms of time, they've got until March 31 to come up with that. And I think that's a doable thing. And to their credit, the town of Hilton Head is holding workshops. Right. Beaufort County is prioritizing this, and I think we're on track. Okay.
Do the town and the county need to have that, their part of it, I guess you might say, on the island? Do they have to have that pretty well formulated by March 31, or can the state and through the county and the town at least get the bridge project going and figure out what to do over time? Because, the town and county are usually not in a big hurry to do anything.
I think the most pressure is in regard to that eastbound span. In regard to the $250 million to build that new eastbound span. The important thing is by March 31st to give a very specific plan to the Department of Transportation, because the Department of Transportation has rightly said, if you guys don't have a specific plan and you tell us what it is, we're going to go in and immediately and just repair the first eastbound span from Moss Creek, crossing Mackey's, all the way to Pinckney Island, because that is the span that is the most structurally deficient. And so the worst case scenario would be that we don't give them a definitive plan by March 31, and then the DOT goes in and just does that one particular span. At that point in time, we lose a lot of extra DOT funding for the rest of the project. We probably lose the $120 million we've got from the infrastructure bank. We can't allow that to happen. And to their credit, I think the town and the county officials understand that.
Okay, and certainly on a short term, in just fixing that bridge, folks who live on the mainland understand you're talking one lane, barely, across the bridges between the mainland and the island for more than a year while they do that, at least a year, probably 2 years, while they get that done. So I think
everybody understands that we can't allow that piecemeal approach to occur. We have to build that new 3-lane eastbound span from Moss Creek, continuing eastbound all the way to Windmill Harbor. Yeah.
All right, we have just a moment here. I know one of the projects you and I have talked about in past discussions involves your work with trying to get more electricity and a better electric grid for South Carolina. The VCSU Plant is still sitting there. Have you found, you want to find a private entity that wants to buy in on it and get the state involved as well. Any progress there?
Absolutely. I filed a joint
Good.
resolution directing Santee Cooper to issue a request for proposal to the private sector. Last week, they in fact hired an investment bank, and they have issued those requests for proposal. We'll get responses by May 5th from private entities on how to complete BC Summer 2 and 3. So that is proceeding very nicely. And so we got $9 billion out there, an asset on the ground that's doing nothing. We can now create generation there to be over 2,000 megawatts of power. That's an important part of our energy future.
Some sunshine on a cloudy day. Thank you so much, State Senator Tom Davis joining us. Good luck in Columbia this week.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
We will be right back with more of the WHHI Daily News.